and welcome to the channel Simplifying Science with Shilpa. So in the last two videos we have discussed about the reaction of acids, and from today we are going to discuss about bases. Now let's begin with some of the properties of bases. Like bases are bitter in taste, they are soapy to touch, and they release hydroxide ions. If we rub a drop of calcium hydroxide on the tip of our finger, so it will feel soapy after some time. It will be slippery. That is why they are soapy in nature, bitter in taste, and they release hydroxide ion. And because of this hydroxide ions, they can conduct electricity. They can conduct electricity. Because of the presence of OH negative ions. Now, all the bases are not soluble in water. Only some of them are soluble in water, and they have a special name known as alkalis. Alkalis. So, alkalis are those bases which are soluble in water. Bases which are soluble in water. So these are some of the properties of acids and bases. Again, bases are also of two kinds: strong base and weak base. Strong base are those which can completely ionize into OH negative ion, or which releases more OH negative ions. They have more OH negative ions, and weak bases have less OH negative ions. Weak bases have less hydroxide ions. So these are some of the properties of bases. They are bitter in taste, they are soapy to touch, they release hydroxide ions. Alkalis are those bases which are soluble in water, and strong base, weak base. Strong base have more hydroxide ions, and weak bases have less hydroxide ion. Okay, so let's come to the reactions of bases. Like we have seen the reactions of acids, similarly bases also reacts. Begin with the first reaction, that is when bases reacts with metals. Do you remember the reactions of acid with metal? Similarly, bases also react with metal to form salt plus hydrogen gas. This is similar in acids also. Let's compare the reaction of acid with metal. Acid plus metal, they also react to form salt and hydrogen gas. Okay, so let's take an example of base. Suppose we are taking NaOH and metal is zinc. Twice of NaOH will form Na2, ZnO2 plus hydrogen gas. You can write either like this or hydrogen gas. Now you must remember the test to check the presence of this hydrogen gas, that is pop sound test. Yes, pop sound test. If we bring a burning candle near to the mouth of this test tube, then it will have a pop sound. So pop sound test to check the presence of hydrogen gas. This reaction is same for both acid and base. They will release hydrogen gas. Coming to the next equation, which we have also seen in acids, that is bases when react with acid, they will form salt plus water. This is known as neutralization reaction, and no gas is released in this. This is known as neutralization reaction. We have seen the example of this reaction in the last video also. You can take any base like NaOH plus acid HCl. It will react to form NaCl plus H2O. This is the salt. Now third reaction, like in acid, when acids react with metal oxides, they will form salt and water. Here also when bases react with, now acids are reacting with metal oxide and bases will react with non-metallic oxide. Bases when reacting with non-metallic oxide, they will form salt plus water. So as you can see, products are same, salt and water, salt and water. So this is also neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction. In the reaction of acid and metallic oxide, do you remember metallic oxides were basic in nature? Similarly here, bases are also here, already here. So non-metallic oxides will automatically be acidic in nature. They will be acidic because they are forming salt and water. That is neutralization reaction. Okay, let's take an example. We can take base as calcium hydroxide, non-metal, carbon. Carbon is a non-metal, oxide O2. It will be a gas. They will react to form calcium carbonate, CaCO3 plus H2O. So this is salt and this is water. This is neutralization reaction. When bases reacting with non-metallic oxide form salt and water, and this non-metallic oxide will be acidic in nature because base is already here. In the reaction of acids we have seen acid plus metallic oxide will give salt and water, and there metallic oxides were basic in nature and here non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature. So these are all the reactions of bases. Only 3 reactions are there for bases and they are very easy. Bases when reacting with metal they form salt and hydrogen gas. Similar reaction of acid. Base when react with acid they will form salt and water. This is neutralization reaction. Bases when reacting with non-metallic oxide they will form salt plus water. Again neutralization reaction, and we can conclude non-metallic oxides are acidic in nature, metallic oxides are basic in nature. Okay, so let's compare all the reactions of acid and bases now. These were all the equations of bases which are very easy. Now we will compare the reactions. Whenever you study a chapter like this, every time you should compare the reactions. That will be clear in your after that. Okay, first, when acid reacting with metal, they will form salt plus hydrogen gas. For base, same, base when reacting with metal, they will form salt plus hydrogen gas. Now you remember Popsound test to check the presence of hydrogen gas. Acids react with metal carbonate or metal hydrogen carbonate to form salt plus which gas? CO2 gas. Salt plus CO2 gas. Here no reaction. Third, when acid react with bases, it will form salt and water. Same reaction for both of them. Acid when reacting with base will form salt plus H2O. Here also same. Fourth reaction, when acid react with metallic oxide, which are basic in nature, they will form salt plus water. And here, when bases react with non-metallic oxide, which are acidic in nature, they will form salt plus water. So these are all the reactions. Now there is a catch. In the first reaction you can see acid when reacting with metal form salt and hydrogen gas. Here also when base react with metal they will form salt and hydrogen gas. Now not all the metals will react with acid, and here also not all the metals will react with base. Only some of the metals can react with acid or base. Let's see which metal can react. There is a reactivity series. which we can follow to decide will this reaction takes place or not. Let's see the reactivity series first. Here I will tell you a trick to remember the reactivity series. Kedarnath का माली, केदारनाथ का माली आलू जरा फीके पकाता है क्योंकि हर गांव आलू अलग, and last is platinum. This is potassium, sodium, calcium, magnesium, aluminium, zinc, iron, lead, hydrogen, copper, mercury, silver, gold and platinum. This is the reactivity series. You can remember it by the trick केदारनाथ का माली आलू जरा फीके पकाता है. H for hydrogen. So all the metals which are above hydrogen, will react with acid to form salt and hydrogen gas. Acid plus metal will give salt plus hydrogen gas. So all the metals which are above hydrogen will react with acid to form salt and water. Only metals above hydrogen will react with acid. Now coming to the reaction of base. When base react with metal, they will also form salt plus hydrogen gas. Here also all the metals will not react with bases to give salt and hydrogen gas. There are only two metals which are amphoteric in nature which will react with base to form salt and hydrogen gas. And these metals are zinc and aluminium. These are amphoteric metals. They are amphoteric in nature. That means they can react with both acid and base. They can react with both acid and base. Now you must say here the metals which are above hydrogen are reacting, but here only two metals are reacting. Why? Okay, let's take example of bases. KOH, NaOH, KOH, NaOH, CaOH whole twice, MgOH whole twice. These are the examples of the bases. Can you see any metal above them? No, right? We cannot see any metal. They are already highly reactive. Sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, they are already highly reactive. So only two metals that are amphoteric in nature, that is zinc and aluminium, will react with bases to form salt and hydrogen gas. So remember this reactivity series and remember this point. In case of acid, only the metals above hydrogen will react, and in case of bases, only zinc and aluminium will react to form salt and hydrogen gas. So this is all about the reactions of acid and bases. We have completed all the reactions, we have compared both of them. So revise these equations well. From the next video, we will be starting from salts. And that is a little difficult part. You know, all the reactions, they are little difficult. So revise this chapter. We'll meet in the next one. Thank you. Comment down below if you have any doubts, you want to ask anything, you can comment down. And your feedbacks are always valuable. Thank you. We'll meet in the next one.